gives himself special, like...
All I need... We're live, Luke, so... Don't say anything rude. Watch live video.
I don't say rude things, I'm happy to use Coach
Let's see.
Screen?
Can you hear us? We're live, Luke, so... Don't say anything rude. Luke's face! I just saw that. That's hilarious. Dang, look at us. Matchers. Wow.
What are we, a team?
Look at these nice, classy team shirts that Jamie got designed and everything for us. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.
You're awesome.
Or as Caitlin says... I'm not going to say it. Caitlin's nickname. Her daughter's nickname for her.
I don't know this thing.
Say Jamie in Spanish.
Jaime?
That's it.
Can almond milk go bad?
Yes. Yes, it can.
That tastes weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't drink that.
Okay, all right. That's a fun start.
This is my role here, people.
All right, if I'm not at practice tonight, I'm either sick or dead. Okay, well, if you're watching, we love it when you guys say hello. So if you're watching, say hello. We got the whole gang back together, guys. Oh, somebody's coming in there. Hey, Coach.
Hello.
Is that for me?
That's for Luke.
Oh, I was gonna say I need that water. Okay, everybody. So, nice shirts. Hey, oh, they all came in at the same time. Yeah, thank you. Okay, everybody. So, today, we're gonna cover our main things, but then we're gonna talk about the breakdown of our team, what it means to be a 10 and under on our team, and 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 and over, and the specific, let's say, vision or specific
Values and priorities.
Values and priorities we have for each section of the team. Okay.
I've got all the pictures here.
So first off, I want to talk about Swimathon. Luke, how much money have we raised so far?
36,000 plus.
Woohoo!
The goal was $35,000. We beat it by over $1,000. Today is the last day to donate. So congrats, team. Way to go. Last year we were $10,000 under our goal. This year we have surpassed it. So thank you guys so much.
That's a $5,000 increase from last year.
Oh yeah, last year the goal was $30,000 and we raised 20 or 25? 20. So the goal is 35 this year and we hit 36. That's really awesome. Thank you guys so much for participating and valuing what we do here at COM. It means a lot to us. And
if you haven't done it, if you got an email from me or a text, if you're a senior parent, please jump on and go ahead and donate online.
So as far as like the next steps for the Swimathon, Luke, do you know the dates off the top of your head for
I don't.
So we're going to be handing out prize awards, I believe November 4th and 5th. And then you have to claim that by December 17th. So
In the swim shop, right?
In the swim shop, yeah. They're just going to be swim shop gift certificates. Or credit to the swim shop. But like I said, November 4th or 5th, we're going to be handing out the prizes for as much money as you raise, and all prizes must be claimed by December 17th.
So is this going to be like a certificate or
There will be a certificate. We'll hand them out in practices on the 4th and 5th.
Great.
They will be handed out at practice. Of course, if you're not there, we're not going to throw it away. We'll make sure we get it to you. But they got to be claimed by December 17th. Otherwise, there'll be no value to the gift anymore.
And that's really important because the swim shop closes on the 18th to start doing inventory to prepare for next year.
Yeah.
And so that's why if you don't get it by the 17th, you won't be able to claim your prize.
Yes. Hello, Patty. Hello, Angela. Our faithful viewers.
Woohoo! Hello, everybody.
Okay, so swim shop. This weekend we actually don't have an event. This weekend, but next weekend, Natalie Hines is coming down. Olympic bronze medalist Natalie Hines, born and raised in Midland, Texas, is going to be here on Saturday.
COM grown.
COM grown. So here's what we're going to do. On Friday the 22nd, all afternoon practices are canceled. Like seniors are going to do Friday morning. Junior 3, pre-senior 3 is going to do Friday morning.
Junior 2, pre-senior 2.
Junior 2, pre-senior 2 is going to do Friday morning. But here's what we're going to do. On Saturday, Junior 1 and up is going to go 7 to 9 a.m. And that'll be a practice. Natalie will be there. She'll be swimming with us a bit. And she'll be visiting the groups, talking to the kids, that sort of thing. That's from 7 to 9. And then 9 to 10, this is what everybody's invited to, no matter what level you're on, developmental, Dolphin 1 and up.
Swimmer, parent, grandparent.
Yeah, we want as
next
many
door neighbor.
We want as many people to come to this as they like. In the courtyard, Natalie's gonna give a little speech to the team, do some Q&A, and we're gonna do our flag ceremony. So you have seen the college flags in our building. We're gonna hang an Olympic flag just for her. It's a huge deal, and we want that to be extremely visible to our team. That an Olympian was born and raised here in Midland, came through our program.
And we're also going to unveil a very special gift that Natalie's given to the team.
Oh, yeah. And then, so once that's done at 10 o'clock, from 10 to 11, she's going to run a clinic with our Dolphin 1 and 2 teams. So if you're on Dolphin 1 and 2, don't miss that day. And for you, your practice is from 10 to 11. Whatever your normal Saturday practice time is, it's 7 to 9. Unless you're a Dolphin swimmer, it's going to be 10 to 11. And then that in-between time will be Natalie's time to speak to the team and some meet and greet stuff.
Just a couple more things about that weekend. So if you are a high school swimmer and you are participating in the high school meet that weekend, you still are going to come at 7 a.m. Coach Flato and I have worked together. We're going to have a light warm-up for you guys, and then y'all are going to be working on starts and turns with Natalie first, and then you'll be able to get out and have breakfast and rest before the meet. And all of the high school teams are coming to, all of the visiting teams are coming to the speech with Natalie. So the whole high school meet will be participating in that. So yes, if you are a high school student and you think, oh, I don't come at 7 because I have a meet, no, everyone comes at 7 so that you can get an opportunity to work with Natalie. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And you will be just fine for your swimming. We'll do like our meet warm up in the morning, and then Natalie will be working with our high schoolers for starts and turns.
Yeah.
The second thing is, so Coach Mike referenced Friday afternoon practices being canceled. That is because we are going to go to the football game as a team to listen to and support Natalie as she's inducted into the MISD Athletic Hall of Fame. So that's what we will be doing as a team. Wear this shirt. If you don't have this shirt, wear a COM shirt. But we'll have details on how to get your tickets for that in the communicators on Sunday. And then, yeah, we're going to all sit together and rep COM and support Natalie. So
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. We're excited. So hopefully we'll see you there. If you have any questions, put it in the comments or send us a message. We'd love to hear it. The following week is the Dowdle family Halloween mini pre and Halloween invitational. The Halloween mini pre is for our developmental 1, developmental 2, and splash athletes. Those times are up on the website. And the Halloween invitational is for our Dolphin 1 and up athletes that are 14 and under. Some developmentals got invited to the invitational. If you got invited, you have received an email. If you haven't received an email, your swimmer wasn't invited. If you have a question of why they were or not invited, send a message out to your coach. I promise you we have a reason. There's a few criteria, 2 of them being a swimmer has to be able to swim a third 50 other than a 50 free and 50 back, or to be able to swim 100, whether 100 free or 100 back, comfortably. Okay. There's a lot of races that a kid could technically finish, but is it beneficial for them to swim that? It just depends. But, okay. So Jenna, wait, there's a question. Where can I find the high schoolers' meet schedule for the season?
it's on our team website.
And it should be linked on the communicator. In the senior.
Yeah.
Building.
It's under team info. Meet. Parents, maybe? No. You're not logged in?
Oh, I'm not logged in. Ooh. I was like, what? We're looking on the website right now just so we can, and then once I get it here, I can actually, oh, I just passed it. Meet schedules. There we go.
Once you're logged in on the team website, under the tab that says Meet and Events, there's it says Events. There's one that says Meet Schedules.
Yeah, and I just put a link. That should take you to that page where you can click on the schedules. So it says sign in on that link. If you've noticed that Team Unify looks a little different at first, it got bought out by a company called Sports Engine, and you just use your same login that you had before, and it'll take you to the original homepage.
Great.
So, if you have any questions about anything, just put them in. We'll be watching. But Coach Jenna, what are we talking about next?
Okay, so we're going to just real briefly give you kind of an overview on our age groups, what's important at different age groups and what we are trying to teach, and what we want kids to be able to move out of that age group with. So 10 and under is our fundamentals, capital F-U-N. And kind of our important things there is that we want them learning swimming's foundational skills while falling in love with the sport. You know, when kids are 8, 9, 10, they're trying to kind of figure out what they're doing. And it's really, really important if they are going to continue in the sport of swimming that they love swimming. The foundational skills are super important. You know, some of our most successful athletes here at COM over the last 10 years graduated with the 2018 class. That's been our highest performing class. And when they were 10 and unders, their coach was a lady named Jana Floyd. And Jana was amazing at teaching kids to love swimming. All of the kids in that class, they loved swimming. You know, when I came in 2011, I started coaching those kids when they were like 11 and 12, and like Braden, he would say the same thing about himself. You know, he couldn't streamline when he was like 11 or 12. I shouldn't say couldn't. He chose not to streamline, right? But I mean, he was performing at the top level at that age, and that's a very foundational skill. But honestly, the love of the sport that he had at that age was way more valuable for where he is today than him being able to do a streamline. Yes, of course, we're going to be teaching streamlines, but the most important thing is that the kids get those basic foundational skills, but that they love the sport of swimming. Because moving into the 11-12 era is, it's a lot harder, right? Like they're moving into the next group, and in 11-12, that's where we're learning to train. Okay?
That's the tagline.
Learning to train.
Learning to train.
And if they don't love the sport coming out of 10 and under, then learning to train, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose them. Like why would you want to train and do something so hard for something you don't love? And so that's why that's kind of that transition there. Who wants to talk about 11-12?
I will. So, for example, what you will see happen at the 11-12 age group is we do more, I would say we have more of a 50-50 balance between technique and training, depending on the level. Whereas the 10 and under, you'll see more technique because it's those fundamentals. But at the 11-12 age group, you will have kids coming home more often saying like, wow, today was hard.
Yeah.
We are also teaching the athletes, like me personally as a coach, if you've ever coached, you might have seen this in an athlete, that moment where you look at a kid and they have this pain look on their face, but it's almost like they're surprised, like they're freaking out a little. They're like, I've never felt like this before. I think, like I've had kids tell me, I think something's wrong. And I'm like, no. You're just working hard. This is what happens.
Shortness of breath.
And
heart rate.
yeah, and we teach them how to enjoy that.
Yes.
Or to how to deal with that. That's why at developmental 211+, there's a third day where every other developmental group has only 2 workouts. Even at the earliest 11-12 group, we wanted an extra day, and their workouts have a little more training in it compared to the other developmental programs.
Yeah. I think a lot of the things also that we do at 11-12, learning to train, you know, we're not saying that 50% of training time is just grinded out, no instruction, that kind of thing. They're learning to train. So they're learning how to keep their intervals with the clock when the intervals are changing. You know, where at 10 and under, we'll say, okay, we're doing 10 25s breaststroke drill on a minute. They're going to leave at the same time every time. At 11-12 is like, hey, I want you to do 5 50s kick on 110, 4 on 105, 3 on a minute, 2 on 55. That's a upper level skill. Like I guarantee you, half of us would mess that up right now, but that's the goal, right? Is teaching those 11-12s to how to manage that training element also there. So reading the clock and more complicated workouts, getting their own times in practice. That's huge. I mean, once they get to high school, if they can't get their own times in practice, then they're going to flounder. They're not going to be able to achieve what they need to. So
And one step from the next, or one swim from the next, is not giving them what they need.
right, yeah. The concepts of like descend or build, all of those little details and swimming vocabulary that we have to be able to have athletes execute correctly to be able to advance once they get a little bit bigger. 11, 12, they're still growing a lot, so they're gonna get faster just by the very nature of growing. And so, but that doesn't last, right? Like they're gonna hit a point where they grew that 6 inches in a year. Might be dramatic, whatever. 6 inches is yeah, that's true. Jake did grow that much. So they've had this huge growth spurt. Their technique has gone completely out of whack because they're 6 inches taller,
Or their body.
they've gone through puberty and their body is different in the water, and so we have to reteach a lot of technique, reevaluate strokes. If they don't have the skills for the training side of it at that point, then we don't have time to make sure the technique is good so that they don't get hurt and that they're being efficient, and teach the training elements. And so it's really, really important that they learn those training skills before going through puberty, because after puberty there's a big readjustment phase. And so all of the things about going through a workout, just imagine walking into the gym as an adult and you see something on the whiteboard and it's like in this completely different language. Like they can read that completely different language and then learning how to execute it. That's a huge piece of that 11, 12.
And it doesn't matter what coach wrote it.
Right. And that's one thing that we try really hard to do here, is to be consistent top to bottom in our vocabulary. So I could walk into Luke's group and say, okay, we're doing 6 kick switch with 6 underwaters per wall on a minute. Okay, first person, let's go on the top.
Yeah, it's the
same exact vocabulary, and the kids can execute it just as well for me as they can for Luke. So
yeah, and we have these aren't just words we made up. Like we've had discussions and internal documents where we say, on this team, this is what we call this drill.
Right.
So it's not more confusing for our athletes.
Right. We want them to be set up for success. Again, preparing them for the next level, making sure that they're ready to be successful there. Our 13-14 group, Luke, why don't you talk about this one, training to compete?
So this is where your athletes are going to learn how to take what they're doing in practice and applying it to their swim meets. So knowing examples like pace work, being able to manage pace work, whether it's independently or with the coach, for specific purposes like warm up and cool down, and just preparing for whatever event they've got coming up.
Race strategy too.
Knowing race strategy, knowing the difference between swimming a 100 butterfly to a 200 butterfly, a 200 IM to a 400 IM, and then the different areas of each one of those strokes that goes into that. Those are probably 2 of the biggest ones, right?
Yeah, I think another thing that we start teaching at 13-14 in regards to training to compete is also how to manage themselves more independently, and what their body actually needs at a swim meet. Like, so if they go to a swim meet and their hips are tight and they have the 100 breaststroke that day, well, in practices we've been doing that together. Like, okay, hey guys, we're gonna do a breaststroke sprint set today. I want everyone to do this warm up to swim because this loosens your hips and this engages your hip flexors and this makes sure that you're ready to go for breaststroke. So they are being taught those skills at practice and then learning how to implement those independently at a swim meet. So they get out of, just for example, they get out of warm up, right? Like we had our one lane for 30 minutes and one athlete gets out and is like, hey coach, I've got the 100 breaststroke, but my hips are still a little tight. Then our response typically is, okay, well, what do you think you could do to be prepared for your race? We're trying to not spoon feed them as much. Obviously, if they don't know the answer or if they have the wrong answer, we're going to guide them to the right one. But that is one of the goals of that training to compete. So the training elements like Luke was talking about that we're doing are trying to prepare them, are trying to cross over and translate into the competition setting more and more.
Yes.
One of the things that you probably noticed at the last swim meet, a little bit more heavy versus from previous seasons, is the dry lands before their swim. I think that I know I saw a lot of the kids doing a lot more of the jumping jack series. I think I even saw kids grabbing the mini bands and the fit loops and doing what we call whoops, warming up to swim. And they were doing a lot of that stuff independently, and that's exactly what we want to see as they continue to progress.
Yeah.
It is called Woods.
It's not Woods.
It's not Woods, but
We call
that's
it
what we've
Woods because
adopted.
Mike's got it. Warm up to swim. WUTS. Should be what's. It's warm up.
There's
up,
no-
up.
But if you saw the,
The acronym.
no, not the acronym. What's it called? Like the sound.
Oh, the phonetic.
The phonetic, it'd be like WOOT.
That's
Soft
just 'cause-
S.
Soft S. It's just because what Mike's like, so we just all go with it.
So
okay.
so if your athlete is like, I don't feel warm up, you can say, did you do your woots? That's a great question to ask them. Did you do your woots?
Yep, and it's also a good reminder on that you've got to be there ready to go 15 minutes before our assigned swim time, because a lot of like the high school meet last weekend, they had a 20 to 25 minute warm up time in the water. That's just not enough to get them going and ready to race, and so that's why we really have to utilize warm up to swim on land. And you can do that as early as you want. It doesn't matter what your assigned time at a meet is, but they've got to be there and they've got to be ready to go for it to work.
Okay, so 15 to 18. The tagline is
Competing for excellence.
competing for excellence.
Okay, so that means that at the 15 to 18, our priority is performance and making sure that we are moving up. What, I don't know what's funny.
Elliot Frisier commented
Oh,
With
hello,
the-
Elliot.
with the phonetic. You know the two dots over
Oh,
a U?
yes.
Like the German U or something? I don't know what it is.
Thanks, Elliot. You're backing your buddy up still here
Guys,
from across the country.
Is that
most of you don't know,
Falcons?
Elliot was my roommate for 8 years. But go, Jenna. I don't want to cut you off. Go.
So competing for excellence, pushing performance to the highest level. At all of our other levels, we are way more, I would say, inclusive. But at the 15 and over, we start pushing kids to make decisions like, hey, if you're not committed to the sport, if you're going to be missing 3-4 days a week for band or for other things, that's totally fine. We totally support you, but we're not going to move you into the top group, even if you're capable, unless you're willing to make the commitment to performing and competing for excellence and pushing yourself as hard as you can. And that's a big ask for kids.
And you can't force that.
You can't force that. And
They have to want to do that.
and that again comes back to the foundation of the 10 and unders of loving the sport. The kids that love the sport are the ones that choose to push through and compete for excellence. Brad and I were talking this week about swimming, and it's a very different sport than anything else. And there's a moment in swimming where an athlete, it's kind of like what you were just talking about, like their body is in pain and they are going to either back off or they're going to push through.
Right.
And in a lot of other sports that happens like once or twice a season. In swimming, it literally happens every day, every practice, so sometimes twice a day. And that athlete has to have a passion and a desire and a love for what they're doing and their goals that they've set. Also a trust in their coach to know that, hey, like this is important. This, like, me pushing myself past this moment is going to help me reach my goals because that's what my coach said. I had an athlete yesterday afternoon who was struggling with what I was asking him to do. It was like, wow, coach, that's really hard. Like, he's looking at me like with these eyes like, I don't think I can do that. And the young lady behind him just went, just do what she said. just do what she said.
Yeah.
And he did it, and he was faster than any of the other repeats. You know what I mean? And so having that moment, it doesn't work. Competing for excellence is the ultimate goal here, right? And none of that works if it's not built upon. Now, I don't want you to hear us say that if your kid didn't start at 8 or 9 or didn't start on our team, that they can't be successful. We have a young man right now who has committed to a Division I school who came to us a year and a half ago. And I would say it's Ricky Humboldt. He's swimming for Valpo University next year, and he's set some team records for us this past season. Great addition to our team. He actually got elected one of the select team captains this season, so very much a part of the team and a part of the program. And he didn't grow up here, but someone somewhere along the line taught him to love swimming, and someone somewhere along the line taught him to learn how to train, and someone somewhere along his coaching line taught him to train for competition. And so now we are able to help him compete for excellence. And so there is always a route to this point, but we are a competitive swim team, and this is the ultimate goal. We just have set the team up and built our structure around the way that we believe is the best to achieve that.
You know, the quote that my coach always instilled in our team was that the want to has to be greater than the have to.
Yeah.
And that's something that's always stuck with me.
Yeah. And that has to be there. And so we hope that our process for our athletes develops that, fosters that, and encourages that along the way, and so that then they can end up at the select team one day and working with their coaches and their teammates to compete at the national level, to swim in the college that they want to, all of those things. So.
Yeah, I think the ultimate success of an athlete on our team is like they get to the end and it's like their senior year before their biggest race, and like the only thing you say between you and your coach is like, "You ready?" And they say yes, and then they have a great race. That's that's the ultimate victory between us and our athletes, that we did a good job with this athlete, because they're 100% prepared to succeed on their own and to succeed at whatever they do after they swim for us.
Yeah.
It was really awesome when we were at the UTPB meet, like lining up with what Mike's saying, watching our kids finish the program, and then we got to go. We don't usually get to go to a lot of the collegiate level meets, but watching all our alumni at UTPB be involved in a different team with different athletes, swimming different events, and it was just like watching them. They were back on our team. They're having fun with their friends. They were excited about their swims, and they put in some good work.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, we won't be able to answer them here because these are bigger questions. But if you're listening to this and you're thinking, but how do we teach them to love the sport? How do we teach, like, as the parent, how can we teach them to learn to train, or any of those steps along the way? We would love to answer those, and we will probably cover that sooner or later. But I know a lot of you parents are listening and thinking, like, how can I help my athlete get to that point at the end? And we don't have enough time to cover that today. But if you have any questions, let us know, because it's a team thing.
We all really like coffee. We'll go to Starbucks with you, sit down, have a cup of coffee.
And we 100% know that we can't do it without you. I know I say thank you every time for the Half Noon News, and I mean it. Like, your athletes would not be as successful here without you guys.
Right.
So we appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.